Hi everybody, welcome back to another Steam Deck video, and in this one we're going to be looking at Sniper Elite 5 and kind of trying to answer the question, is this a good game to have on your Steam Deck? Is it something you should be worth investing in your time and money? And also, how does it run on Steam Deck as well? So I thought we'd change it up. Thought we'd change it up a little bit this time. And instead of, don't want that. Did we get him? We didn't, right? Okay. Let's get out of the way. So the first thing I say is Sniper Elite 5 is, in my opinion, probably the best of the Sniper Elite series. They've really come together, Rebellion, the devs behind this, and solved some of the key problems that Sniper Elite has. And look at that. And I think delivered, the best title in the series. So Sniper Elite, if you didn't know already, set in World War II. This one has got one of the best locations because it's Normandy. Starts off just before D-Day and then continues after D-Day. So you're kind of fighting Germans in France. Very, very nice. It's a stealth third-person sniper game. Although what you tend to find is that in especially Sniper Elite 5, you'll spend a lot more time taking enemies down, not with your sniper rifle, but with your knife, with melee attacks and things like that. And you have these large levels. Let me kind of show you. So this is kind of the level that we're playing on, where you have lots of different objectives. Now, at the moment, I only know about that objective, but as I play, more objectives will open up. And some of them are main objectives that you have to do, which you can then do and you can exit, and some are optional that you can do. And then as you kind of do objectives and level up and get more XP, you can unlock different skills and different perks. Although don't worry, this isn't an RPG game. And it looks very, very nice in general. I think Rebellion games, that their engine suffers from a couple of problems, and this is across most of them, and that is often it looks over-sharpened. So maybe if you play around with the settings more, you can get over that. And also, I'm not a big fan of the sounds of their guns. I think they could do a better job and give them more low end on the guns. But as far as fun goes, for sort of running around, stealthily taking down enemies or shooting them, sniping, you've probably seen the famous bullet camp. Sniper Elite 5 is absolutely really good, and the level design, I think, has gone away from. On Sniper Elite 4, they had lots of really big levels, but the actual flow of those levels, I don't think wasn't always that great, and sometimes you'd end up with situations where you could kind of do things out of order. But with Sniper Elite 5, they've sort of solved those problems. There are a couple of really, really nice levels. So, is it worth game playing? Yes. Is it worth playing on the Steam Deck? And the answer to that also is yes. In fact, a kind of a hint and a tip about these videos. If I do make a video about a game on Steam Deck, it's probably because it is worth playing. I tell you what, let's see if we can give you a bullet time just to. There we go. Look at that. That's the famous kind of bullet time shot that you'll get. We better run away though, because the enemies now know where they are, now where I am, and they will come looking for me. And if you get outnumbered in this game, unless you're playing on like Cadet or one of the really easy settings, they will find you and they will track you down, and they will kill you. So often, caution is the better part of valor. Is that a word? Is it? Anyway. So how does it run performance-wise? Well, what you can see here is I've actually locked it to 40, and I've kind of found that with quite a few of these newer games, I mean, Sniper Elite 5 came out a couple of years ago, but I found the same with Resident Evil 4. 40 FPS, locked to 40 FPS, can actually be a really nice sweet spot where you don't get those big frame dips down from like 60 to 40 that you can experience in more difficult areas, more challenging areas for the game. And as long as the game has a semi-decent motion blur, you don't really notice any choppiness. So what with the settings we're in at the moment, in fact, let's just go into the settings so you can see. So we're going to options, display. So we're on medium settings, and I've set ultra FX, so FSR1, which is this uses, to ultra, which means ultra means quality. So basically the quality is going to be pretty close to the original resolution at 1280 by 800, but you're going to get slightly better performance. So the way that FSR works is when you set the resolution, in this case 1280 by 800, because that's the native resolution of the Steam Deck, it actually, the game actually renders it slightly less. So it will render it at like 720p, and then the FSR upscales it so that you can get hopefully as good a quality but at a higher frame rate. Now what you could do is, if we go into here and we let's disable the frame limit anyway, and let's come over and let's change this to performance. What you should see then is when we come out of this, we'll see we're getting pretty good. I mean 70 frames a second. I mean, that's pretty good. But what I tend to see here is, this might not come across very well in the video, but the foliage that just takes on a bit of a shimmering look. And I don't think FSR performance looks that great. So although we're getting really nice frame rate, I don't think the game looks that brilliant. So I don't like that one. So if we go to, if we turn that to balanced, so we're still getting 70 frames a second. Looks a little bit better, but I definitely think the quality one is good. And with quality, as you can see, we're getting about 65 frames a second now. That will drop considerably when we get into more difficult, more challenging areas. Oh, not a good time to run out of bullets. So the AI are pretty good in Sniper Elite. They go off and they'll find some cover and they'll call for reinforcements. Now, I'm in a particularly open area here. That's why it's chundering along at 80 frames a second. So you might well be saying, well, why don't you just lock it to 60 frames a second, Rob? Or why don't you lock it to, 50 frames a second? But I think for me, when I was playing some of the other, the earlier level, 40 frames a second did seem to be the sweet spot. But again, you've got to find out what works well for you. This is the 512 gigabyte OLED model, so the screen is particularly nice. So there we go, Sniper Elite 5. Definitely a great game to play. Probably the best Sniper Elite in the series, outside of Zombie Army Trilogy, that is. And it plays and runs great on the Steam Deck. Anyway, that's enough from me. What do you think? Put your questions and comments down below. And of course, I'll see you again soon.